I think hybrid's the future for sure, just like we're seeing this with work. I was going to say, what we're seeing around the world, even pre-COVID, was absolute labor shortages in almost every country. So, the even the developing countries near us, I mean, high development, Mexico has had labor shortages pre-COVID, right? And Americans think of Mexico as this high birth rate, but actually Mexico has had quite a low birth rate for 30 years. Is India getting to that point, or is your birth rate slowing enough where you're starting to think about labor shortages? So we need machines. As you said, you get customization at scale. So if I walk back into Gucci and I'm enabling my smartwatch to send data to the cloud on my physiologic state, that AI may know that I'm hungry or tired. So how about coming in? Hey, Paul, welcome back to Gucci. How about a cup of coffee? Let's sit down and to relax a little bit. Oh my God, that would be great. Now, some stores do that. Luxury retail will offer you coffee or sometimes a glass of wine, which is really nice, or champagne. But just to come in and have that be customized, or to look at my physiologic state and go, looks like you might be in a rush today, right? Do you have time? Is there one thing that you really need? Because last time you looked at shoes and shirts and ties, right? And so, are those among those three things? Should we just focus on one of those today? So again, a really good salesperson could do that. They can kind of read your body language, but again, we're imperfect at doing this. So I think customers will enable it. So I think we're back to Swami's question. I think and the way we've built neuroscience as a service platform is there's always an opt-in. There's no surreptitious data collection. It's not like I'm pulling data without you knowing it from the smartwatch, and I'll explain to listeners how we did that in a moment. But I would do that because I want to have a great experience and I want to have this company learn more about me so I can have consistently really good experiences. And I also will know objectively, unlike a sub report on a NPS or something, I'll actually know how great that experience was for me when it's over. Like, man, that was awesome. Or that kind of was sucky. And I look at my immersion measure and go, oh yeah, that was a 33 out of 100. That was not so good. That was no wonder I wasn't so happy and whatever. So you can begin to learn about your own emotional states, which we don't have a lot of insight into. So again, going back one step, what we did over the last 5 years is take all this science from the lab, these giant expensive machines that are noisy, all kinds of wires, and we did a very careful mapping from the peripheral nervous system, from particularly the nerves in the neck, cranial nerves, into what the brain is processing, capturing this neurologic state I've called immersion, which again is attention and emotional resonance. So, can I use one bad word on here? Is that okay? So, one of our customers called immersion the give a shit measure, which is kind of right, right? How much do I really care about this? Because my brain wants to idle most of the time. So, if I can capture that, wow, this is great, which immersion does, then I've got it. And so, we basically put all these algorithms in the cloud that let us, as you said, pull data from a fitness sensor or an Apple Watch and then measure in real time the value your brain is getting from this experience. And once I know that, then I know how to craft that experience for you as an individual. And I do think that is most effectively done at scale using an AI, interface. So I'm learning a lot about you. Right now, we have clients that use our platform, and they're measuring again everything from training to customer experiences to marketing, to ads to movies. But the next phase is applying machine learning to that. So the kind of values I gave you for predicting, what songs will be hits and what movies will be hits, those all offline, not in real time, apply machine learning to this immersion data, this high frequency data, to get those predictive, high predictive accuracy. But once we can do this in real time, then I'm in the hybrid world in which I'm trying to create a great experience for you as an individual, not you as a collective. And I think once we can do that, I'm going to dig this experience. And if you know, again, what I'm feeling that I may not even know, it would be fabulous. And I want to follow up with Swami's question too, if I can take 90 more seconds. Also, it's a prosthetic for us to learn about ourselves, our own emotional states, and those around us. So in my imagined world, if my wife opts in to share her data with me, and when I come home one day from work and I'm tired and she seems cranky, and in my head I go, oh, this woman again. We've all done this, right? Because we don't say it because we're nice people. We're like, why am I here? I'm just tired. I just want to put my feet up. But what if my phone because I'm getting her data, goes, hey, your wife's having a really bad day. Pick up some flowers for her on the way home, or take her out to dinner, or just be aware. She's really just unhappy. It's not your fault. It's nothing to do with you. She's had a really tough day. Um, Man, your relationships will be so much better. So that's an immersion plus AI application. Um, we can almost do it now, actually, but it'd be better with AI. So just to help the humans be happier. So again, just to put a cap on that, most of my professional life has been developing knowledge and technologies to help people curate their lives for greater happiness. And so I think that certainly applies in the business setting, but happiness times five, right? I want you to be not just be happy when you see me in my store or online. I should go, holy crap, this is the best thing ever. I love this place. And that love is, corresponds very closely with immersion, right? It's the value that the brain gets from a social experience. We call that love when it's a partner or a child, but from the customer service perspective, we often call that engagement, which is such a vague word that I just dislike it. But neurologically, that seems to be immersion. Like I am sucked into this experience. I am here. I'm present. I'm getting value from it. I'm digging it in every level, and I want to do it again. And so, again, good for the customer, good for the organization. And I would argue, and have argued in this book I've coming out in a couple months, it's good for society. When I have this peak experience, I'm happier. And that happiness has a halo effect where now I'm just nicer to the other humans around me because I had such a great experience in a store or online. And I'm nicer to my spouse and I'm nicer to my kids. And so I'm building greater satisfaction in my life because I'm using that great business experience that I have that someone created for me, and I'm carrying it over to the rest of my life. Right? Think about, you guys remember, I'm old enough. Remember like when the first Rocky movie came out, it was like, oh my God, I'm going to work. You leave that movie, you were so pumped up, like, I'm going to work out. It's going to be awesome. Or the new Top Gun movie, right? So when the original movie came out, I was in college and in San Diego where they filmed that movie. And it was like insane. Like people are joining the Navy and everyone was going to be a jet fighter. And, it was crazy. From a movie, it's fake movie. It's totally fake, right? It's a fictional story. So, that's the sense in which, having that profound, valuable experience neurologically does affect behavior. And again, it could be positive or negative. The downside is you go to a story of a terrible experience, and the data show that one bad experience in retail, people almost like 80% of people go, I'm never going back there. Just because one customer service agent wasn't very nice to me, or I don't know, I didn't like them. I'm done. I've shopped here for years now. I'm done. Oof, that's tough. So again, once we have measures of people's neurologic state that they want to share, right, because they're going to get a better experience, and we can build that into a hybrid or in-person experience, I think the world could be a little better place, with a caveat that we don't want to suck you into this experience that's so perfect and too valuable that you never come back in the real world. So sorry for the long dissertation there, but it was such a deep question. I thought it deserved a long answer.